we're going to win this race. We are going to win. And then I'm going to go on to make Mitch McConnell's life miserable every single day. I look forward to that.
Malcolm Kenyatta is running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Pennsylvania. The Pennsylvania Senate race is the hot race of the cycle, folks. If you want to know the state Democrats who are about to level up to national names, this is the race you should follow, and Malcolm Kenyatta is the man you should be following. He is currently in his second term in the Pennsylvania House, representative for the 181st District, and the first openly gay person of color ever elected to the Pennsylvania State House. So much more to learn about Malcolm's impressive political career, and you can find it all at his campaign website, malcolmkenyatta.com, and stand by because here he is, Representative Malcolm Kenyatta, running for the U.S. Senate, state of Pennsylvania. Thank you so much for being here.
So excited to be with you.
And I'm so thrilled to have you here. Congratulations on the success you've had so far in your political career. Democrats are very, very excited about you. Can you tell me why this is the right year for you to become the next senator from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
You know, our fundamental and some of our most basic rights, from the right to vote to the right to live in a safe community, for your kids to go to a good school, to have a job that pays you a wage and provides benefits that have a level of dignity connected to them. All of those things are on the line. And I tell people all the time, there is nothing on some tablet somewhere that says America has to be successful. The reason we have been so many people of color and people of conscience who've stepped up to say, hey, you know what? We talk about freedom and justice and fairness, all those things that were written in our foundational documents. Those things have to be real. And we have sometimes had to pull this country kicking and screaming in some cases to make that real for more and more people and to expand the promise of America. And I will tell you, in this fight for our democracy, for the right to vote, for women's right to make their own healthcare decisions, for good schools, for healthcare for everybody, dealing with the climate crisis. When you have a big fight, you want your best fighter. And I think I'm the best fighter in this race to get these things done, because everything that we're talking about affects me intimately. My ideas are grounded in my real life experience. So many people grown up in communities like mine. I represent the 3rd Forest District. These folks don't give a damn who is making their lives better. They don't care what they call themselves. They don't care what you call the bill. What they want to know is, am I going to be able to afford my insulin? Is my child going to be able to afford their EpiPen? Is my kid going to go to a good school where teachers are well compensated, where the buildings are safe, where they're getting the best education? That is what is at stake. And we have to be able to get things done. And as I've said, it's going to require a big, bold majority. We need to win a couple of seats to make sure that if there are a couple of people in our party who don't want to move forward with an agenda that's widely supported by the American people, looking at you, Kristen Sinema, that then we don't have to necessarily worry about that, but we can still move forward.
You've got running for office somewhere in your genetic code, because I read that your first race was at age 11. You ran for junior block captain. What motivated you at age 11 to go out and seek this extra level of responsibility? What was the spark?
You know, the spark was having a tough black mama. That was the spark. We were living on this one block, Woodstock Street, which is in my now house district, which is fun. And I came home one day and I'm just, full of preteen angst and so frustrated by the trash on the block and this and that. And I come home and I'm just complaining and I'm like, blah, 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 whatever the hell I was saying. And I'll never forget, my mom was standing in the kitchen looking at me. She had just lit a Newport on the stove and she's staring at me, smoking this cigarette. Don't smoke, kids, don't smoke. Smoking. And she said to me, you know what, if you care so much, why don't you go do something about it? And I was like, oh, okay. I thought you were gonna give me a hug, but that's fine. And so I ran for junior block captain. And that was the first thing I ever did in terms of getting civically engaged. And I will tell you, those words have rang in my mind over and over again at big inflection points in my life. My mom helped launch a soup kitchen at the church and giving out food and stuff, and then a couple of weeks from there, we would need food. And I'm like, why are we volunteering? We need help. And she'd say, because everybody can do something. You got to go do something. And that's 100% right. All of us have a responsibility, I think, but a real opportunity to serve. And for some people, that means running for office. For some people, that means starting an incredible, media platform. For some people, that looks like calling an elected official, donating what you can to a campaign. We all have a way to serve.
Wonderful. And speaking of that era, I want you to take a look at this. Is this you?
That's me.
Now,
I'm cute. I was on my way to church.
You're not is that what you wore to church?
That's what I wore to church. And I did not want to take this picture clearly.
Not 11 here, so this is pre-junior block captain days.
Right.
But I see the look in your eye already. You know, I checked out your website, malcolmkenyatta.com. I was really excited to see your stand on decriminalizing marijuana, and even more excited that that's included in your platform for criminal justice reform. I don't know if everybody understands how those two things connect.
Yeah, when we talk about decriminalizing marijuana, this is a serious issue. And if you look at the amount of folks who have been arrested for a marijuana-related offense across race, across income, poor people of color are the highest rates in terms of incarceration, criminalization. But people of color don't use marijuana at higher rates than white folks. But this has been a real gateway to the over-criminalization that we've seen in our communities. And it has hollowed out whole communities where we are wasting so much money keeping people warehoused instead of actually investing money and getting people educated, getting folks retrained for good jobs, and growing our economy and communities. But it's not going to be good enough just for us to decriminalize. I talk about it as well. We need to deschedule, not reschedule, deschedule cannabis to clear people's records who have this on as we go to a new normal where this is going to be legal and where huge companies potentially are going to corner this market.
Where do you stand on reproductive rights being protected at the federal level?
We need to enshrine the protections of Roe v. Wade into law. There are zero examples of us as government getting involved in medical procedures that impact men. Zero examples. And yet, in the year of our Lord, 2021, we're still talking about whether or not a woman has autonomy over her body. If a woman can be forced to carry to full term that they do not want to have, then they do not have equal rights in this country. And it is absolutely unacceptable.
Why do you think Donald Trump got 74 million votes in the 2020 presidential election? Where's that coming from?
You know what? When you have the fever pitch debate that we're having, we saw increased turnout for everybody, right across the board. But let's be very, very clear about what the majority wanted and what the majority of this country is saying. The majority of the country, including a number of Republicans, actually want to focus on building the country back better than ever before, and actually also believe that we should have elections in which we count every vote, and then, as Senator Warnock said in his first major address on the floor, that we have those most powerful words in American democracy. The people have spoken. The reason they want to upend that, the reason they have this laser focus on trying to make it as difficult as possible for people to vote and engage in the process is because they have crap ideas. They have crap ideas. They have ideas that fly in the face of what most Americans want. They have no ideas about how to make life better for the people who desperately need government to work for them in their communities. That's why we need to abolish the damn filibuster, to move forward to protect voting rights, to protect a woman's right to choose, to do bold action on the climate crisis. And ultimately, what it's going to take is a big, bold majority. Obviously, 50-50 on some of this stuff isn't going to cut it, unfortunately, because we have some Democrats in our own party, a la Joe Manchin, a la Kristen Sinema, who aren't in line with us lowering drug prices, with us making huge corporations pay their fair share. But what we need is a big, bold majority. And when I get to the Senate, I'm looking forward to having these debates and fighting hard for the things that we absolutely must do to ensure that this experiment in democracy doesn't end with our generation.
Well said. Now you know how to run a race because you've done it. You know how to win a race because you've done it. But you're leveling up now, and I'm curious, what is the biggest shift that you've had to make going to this level of campaign?
I would tell people this, and I don't say this because this campaign is not hard. We're going to win this race. We are going to win. 52% of the population in Pennsylvania is from Philly and our 4 collar counties. I think it's a big deal. I'm going to be the only candidate from Philadelphia on the ballot, and I'm thrilled to have support from a donations perspective from all 50 states, including our 51st state one day, DC.
Yes.
To have support from all 67 counties, to have 98% of all of our donations be under $100, and to have our average contribution be $26 now, $26. And so if folks want to be a part of making history and of moving this country forward and of beating back those who want to take our country backwards, then this is your opportunity to go to MalcolmKenyatta.com and chip in what you can and become a part of this campaign. And you can bet your bottom dollar that will not be a louder, more fierce advocate for treating workers with dignity than for me. I think the Democratic Party is the party of working people. You know what? We actually need to elect working people. I'm sick of us saying, hey, who's the least worst millionaire? Let's go with that person. Last time I looked at it from 2018, I think it was $2.5 million median wealth for a US Senator. I look forward to dramatically bringing that down with my election. And then I'm going to go on to make Mitch McConnell's life miserable every single day. And I look forward to it.
You sold me on that alone. Let's get some campaign contributions. Right now, I'm going to run down all your social media locations. You hit the website. MalcolmKenyatta.com is the official campaign website. Any contributions you want to make, do it right there. Facebook at Malcolm for PA. Twitter and Instagram, both at Malcolm Kenyatta, and Medium at Malcolm for PA. You know, you're so inspiring, and I know you're getting a level of young people who were not excited about politics interested and invested in it now. And those are Democrats that are just going to become stronger and more powerful voices in the decades ahead. And a lot of that is going to be because of you. Malcolm Kenyatta, thank you for spending time with us today, running for the U.S. Senate in the state of Pennsylvania.
Thank you so much. Always happy to be with you. And just grateful for you building this platform and using it to talk about a future that we all deserve. So thank you, my friend.
Appreciate that. Thank you.